Welcome to yourbrilliance.com. I'm your host, Amy Waterman. Now, it has been a while since I have sat in this chair and hosted an interview, but I could not resist this one. You ladies know Matt Shaffer. He's a dating and personal transformation coach who has devoted his life to bringing out the best in women. He is my most popular guest because he's always got amazing freebies for you. And if you have ever wanted to join one of his special events, then make sure to keep watching. Now, Matt has been on my show a whopping 7 times, and it is hilarious to go back over those old interviews and see how much our hair has changed.
Yeah,
Mine
yeah.
has gotten shorter and his has gotten longer. Welcome.
Hi, Amy. It's so nice to be here with you. Yeah, I think I had my little frat boy cut back when we started, and now here we are. Yeah, our hairs have inverted in a really fun way, but yours still looks better than mine. It's you got a nicer curl going on than me.
Oh, yeah, don't worry, Matt. I'll just come over there with a curling iron and we'll get you sorted.
I know. This is last minute. I need a blow dryer and stylist.
Absolutely. So, how has life been treating you? We haven't seen you on the show for a while. What's been up for you?
I mean, it's been a really beautiful season of my life, I mean, over the past, gosh, 5 years of working with you and doing this work. I mean, I've worked with probably 60,000 women, doing group coaching and facilitating transformational experiences. And it's been such a rewarding journey, like I've been able to witness so many women heal their wounds, leave abusive relationships, step into healthy relationships, get married. I've even seen a couple of clients and students have children and start families and stuff. And so it's been such a rewarding journey for me. And then I made a choice, and I was like, you know what, I want to explore a different aspect of this work. And I ended up going and collaborating with a couple buddies of mine, doing sort of online, conscious, coaching, supporting people and going online and doing conscious, business development for a while. And so I did that for about the last year, all while, continuing to grow and perfect my hair, which is always my big project. And so, but this is me coming back to the work that is my deepest passion, supporting women and having better connections and relationships with men and everyone else in their lives. That's where my deepest passion is. And so I'm really excited to kind of take everything I've learned over the past year and sort of bring it back to the women that I'm meant to serve. And that's why I'm here, is to get back in the ring and to do the work that, brings me the deepest amount of joy.
Can't tell you how happy I am that you are offering this course again, because if I had my druthers, every single woman who watches this video would get on that course, because you invited me on last time as a witness and a participant, and what really touched me about that course was, of course, the stories of the women. I know your content was great, but it was actually, for me, it was the community you created and these incredible women who were participating, and they had gone through so much stuff. They had gone through abuse, they'd gone through affairs, they'd gone through betrayal, they'd gone through heartrending heartbreak, right? And yet, here they were on this course because they still had hope. They
Yeah.
still believed in love, and they wanted something to change in their
Mhm.
life so that they could change their luck in love, and they knew they still deserved it. When you
Yeah.
do this course, how do you handle these emotional stories? Because I admit I was a bit of a wreck reading some of those.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you, Amy. And just for everybody watching, what Amy's speaking into is I'm doing another a free course launch of my $2,000 signature program, Mastery of Connection. It's going to be a 3-week free live course experience with over 50 hours of live coaching with me. It's normally $2,000, but you, as a member of Amy's community, can join as a beta tester, meaning all I would love from you is feedback, testimonials, and just helping me make it be the best course it possibly can be. And we're going to be unpacking your belief system, your attachment style, your personality type, so that you can transform your relationships from the inside out. It's the same work I do with my one-on-one clients where, to work with me one-on-one, which I don't even do anymore. It's like 12 grand to work with me one-on-one. And I don't even do that anymore. But this is an opportunity for you to get deep transformation, deep healing, and really step into the best version of yourself so you can have the best relationships with other people. Because the stand I am in this work and in this world is that every relationship you have with someone else is a reflection of your relationship with yourself. As you transform one, it impacts the other. So yeah, you can click the link in the description of this video or in the email where you got this video, and apply to be a beta tester. And we'd love to have you. It's going to be an epic experience, right? And to answer your question, Amy, honestly, like holding space for the stories and the wounds and the trauma that women have, it's really rewarding for me because I get to be like a safe masculine container for women to begin to recontextualize their relationship with masculine energy, so for me it's very, 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 very fulfilling to be able to witness women in the pain of what they've gone through. And because a lot of times, right, this trauma, it just needs to be witnessed. Like it just wants to be expressed and witnessed. And when it can just be released and it's no longer being held in shame or, whatever suppression that we've been holding it in with, the process of healing can begin, like shame grows in the dark, so I invite everyone who's part of this launch to share vulnerably in the Facebook group, to share vulnerably on the live calls that we do every week. I mean, like, because the more we can express and get this stuff out, the less it will impact us at the subconscious level.
So many of us have so many hard stories that we think the bad things that happen to us mean that we're bad, because why would they have happened to us unless we had somehow deserved it or invited it in? And I
Mm-hmm.
think seeing that these things happen to nearly everybody can really help to show you that actually you are not this one person in the world that this bad stuff has happened to you because you somehow invited it, but rather that these bad experiences are part of the rocky road to love, and that the bad spirit experiences just mean that we need somebody there standing alongside the road to give us a hand and say, come on, here, let me help you get over this obstacle. And I think that you are the helping hand for so many women. And I wonder, when women are on that rocky road to love and they look back and they see all the boulders they've struggled over and all of the suffering they felt, how do you help them keep the faith and believe that someday they will find love, even if they don't feel they deserve it, even if they feel like a common one, I'm too old for love, I'm too messed up, my life's not messed up, I don't have one of these aspirational lives that I'm supposed to have.
Yeah.
Why would any man want me when I see all these beautiful women out there that they could have instead? How do you help these women get their faith in themselves again?
No, well, I think the first thing to recognize is that I think we have a very unrealistic expectation of the journey to love, the journey to deep love and aligned relationship. We've all been brainwashed by Disney and all these like, media, whatever. These like, we've been conditioned to believe that like, oh, there's like this one person and, eventually that person's just going to drop into our lap and rescue us from our life or whatever. Like we have this very unrealistic expectation of what love is. And my experience of it and my work with, the folks I've worked with is that a lot of times the people that we attract into our life are mirrors for where we are at in our own journey within ourselves, and so as we grow, we continue to attract different types of people and more aligned people. You know what I'm saying? The journey to your ideal relationship is incremental. It's a process, you know what I'm saying? And every person we bring into our life is mirroring back to us aspects of ourselves that we get to work on, and also aspects of ourselves where we're doing great, and I recognize this in my own journey that because in my 20s I was attracting, a lot of women who were deeply, 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 deeply wounded and were basically like these vortexes that I just had to pour more and more of myself into, you know? And so I was deeply insecure and hadn't addressed my own wounds at that time. So because of that, I was attracting women that were reflecting that back to me. And I got my sense of relevance from being able to like rescue them and be this white knight for them or whatever, but it was very codependent and very unhealthy. And then as I learned to love myself and become less insecure and embrace my own sense of worthiness, I began to draw in women in relationships that were reflections of that. Where I didn't need to sacrifice myself to make them happy. You know what I'm saying? And so honestly, like I tell women that like every partner, every person you attract into your life is a sacred teacher for you. And a lot of times the most sacred teachers are the ones that cause you the most pain because they are the ones that are offering you the greatest opportunity for growth, the deepest reflection of your own wounds, the biggest lesson around setting boundaries, around releasing maybe your understanding of your misunderstanding of what the relationship between men and women are supposed to look like that you learned from your parents. You know, a lot of times if you attract an abusive partner into your life, that partner is a reflection of some belief that you adopted in childhood that women deserve to be treated this way, that this is what a relationship between a man and a woman is supposed to look like, you know? So like that person, even though he's causing you a lot of pain in the moment, he's giving you an opportunity to look at and heal the deepest, aspect of what's going to help you have great relationships. So it's like, when we can look back at our relationship history and find gratitude for like everything that happened to us and recognize that nothing's happening to us, it's all happening for us, everything changes. You know what I'm saying? And we can begin to look at love as a journey and dating and relationship as a journey and look at it with curiosity rather than with the sense of, oh, all men are trash, or, like there's nobody out there for me. There's always, so many people out there for you if you're just open to it and you're willing to look at like every relationship as an opportunity to grow. You know what I'm saying?
Dig into the one question that women seem to have so much, and that is, you said that a lot of times the people we attract reflect aspects of ourselves. There's so many women who have had so many bad relationships and they've been treated so badly, and it keeps happening and it keeps happening, and they really can't believe that they could possibly attract somebody who treats them well because they've never been treated well in a relationship. What do you say to those women who just seem to have a pattern of attracting men who don't treat them well and can't really
Yeah.
seem to break it?
Yeah, well, because what that means is almost in almost all situations is that you have a belief about who you are and what you deserve that's operating subconsciously. That because here's the deal, and this is why we start in the Mastery Connection in the course that I'm offering later this month. Like we start with your beliefs, because at the end of the day, your beliefs are going to prove themselves right through the decisions and the actions you take. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a belief that I'm not worthy of love, that's going to lead to you subconsciously choosing partners that confirm that belief. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, maybe your dad told you when you were 8 years old, you're never going to amount to anything and no man could ever love you because you're just like your mother when he was drunk or whatever. I mean, I've heard it all, or he did something to you way worse than that. I've also heard all of that. You know what I'm saying? But we create a story of this is what I deserve because dad said that to me, or my uncle did that to me, or whatever. And so then we operate in the world. We go out into the world subconsciously, even though we don't consciously want that. Subconsciously, we're like, this isn't what I want, but this is who I am. This is who I am. Therefore, we go out and we will search that person out. We will find it could be a room of 100 people. And if you were sexually abused as a child or whatever, or your dad was a narcissist who was like unrelentingly abusive to you, that narcissist will be able to find you, and you two will sniff each other out in a room full of 100 people. And you will establish this like wild codependent relationship because you're both you're both conditioned and you're both vibrationally tuned to each other. You know what I'm saying? And so in order to break the cycle, we got to look at the beliefs that are the source of it. You know, we can't just change the action. We can't just say, well, I'm choosing to no longer date narcissists. Okay, well, if you still have an underlying belief that love is transactional and I have to earn the right to be loved and yada, 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 and you have these like beliefs that prime you to be a great target for narcissists and to be in a codependent type relationship like that, you're going to still find those people. You're going to still, even if you say you don't want it consciously, you know what I'm saying? Your beliefs always win because they're like the code underneath everything else. So once you start to look at the beliefs, recognize that these beliefs are not in alignment with my vision for the life and the relationship that I actually desire, that's when you can start to shift the paradigm of your life. You pick a new vision, and then you shift your beliefs that come into alignment with this new vision, and that's when you can break the cycle. But until you shift your beliefs and do the healing work that's underneath, you know, that's causing you to hold on to these old beliefs, nothing's going to change. You know what I'm saying? But transformation is 100% possible. I've had clients and students who were sexually abused by members of their own family and spent decades in abusive relationships and yada yada that were in abusive relationships when they started the course, and they walked away from those relationships during the course, and within months of being a student in one of my group programs, found beautiful, loving relationships, had a family. I mean, there is no such thing as like too far gone to come back. You know, you're never trapped in a relationship, in a season of life. It's never you're never too far gone to like find a deep, meaningful relationship, and also just to feel a sense of freedom. You know.
Yeah. I just want to emphasize how different this is from so much of the dating advice, especially out here on YouTube and on the internet, which it is transactional. Basically, the advice says you are making all these mistakes. You need to make yourself worthy. You need to do all these things that he likes. And if you
Mhm.
deserve his love, then you will get his love because you're doing all the right things. You're looking the right way. You're saying the right things. You're texting the right things. And that, again, this is why I keep sending so many women to you, is because what you're saying is the complete opposite. You're saying, actually, love is not transactional. Love is a connection of two people, heart to heart. There's nothing about
Mhm.
deserving and earning about it. It's about a heart connection. And I really think that the community that you create in Mastery of Connection shows women experientially what that heart connection is,
Mhm.
because this connection, heart mastery of connection course, the private Facebook group is full of other women who are there to support each other and to jump
Mhm.
in. And it's almost like, I was thinking about this, Matt, it's almost like watching group therapy. And imagine that, we do therapy in order to attract love as opposed to lose weight, wear makeup, learn the right things to say. It's about healing. What do you think the role of that community plays in these women finding lasting love?
It's a great question. And Amy, I'll tell you, like the community aspect of it, I can't believe it. I had this delusion when I was working with women one-on-one that the work that I do it could never be applied to a group. I could never create transformation. I was so wrong because honestly, the power of the collective is profound. And so much of the deepest healing that a lot of the women in my courses go through is through the power of having other women there to support them, to reflect things off of, to feel like they're no longer alone. Because, tell me if I'm wrong, right? But I think a lot of the deepest suffering happens from the fact that we believe that no one else has gone through what we've gone through. Nobody else could possibly understand what it is that we've experienced in our relationships. You know what I'm saying? And so that sense of isolation is so often one of the deepest pain points we have around our trauma. And when you come into a group like we're going to have in Mastery Connection, you begin to realize, oh my God, so many people have gone through exactly what I went through, or so much worse. And it's not about worse or better. It's not like a comparison game, but just like there's such a vast spectrum of trauma. But at the end of the day, like everyone has gone through their own type of pain and suffering. And when we all come together and we can all like vulnerably like see, we can see ourselves and the stuff we've gone through in others, we begin to be able to alchemize it. You know what I'm saying? And it's so beautiful to be, I'll be on a live call and I'll be talking to facilitating like some coaching with it. And you probably saw this when you were part of my last course, right? But I'll be doing a live session with someone and they'll experience a breakthrough, they'll start crying, they'll have like a healing experience, and then you'll just see in the chat like 20, 30 other women will be like, oh my gosh, and they'll have their own healing experience and they'll start crying. And so there'll be like this domino effect of like of healing and transformation that happens. And that's only possible in a group. And it's because I bring on one person, I do coaching with them, and then so many other people see their own, like they get the medicine that they needed from my engagement with this one person. You know what I'm saying? They see their own trauma. They get the answers that they were looking for, which oftentimes are not the question that they initially had. You know, they thought they had this one question. Oh, like, how do I find a great guy, or how do I leave my husband, or how do I start setting boundaries? And then I do this coaching session and they say, and they figure out, oh my gosh, the reason I can't set boundaries is because I think that my voice doesn't matter, because that's a story that I created when I was, you know, like 7 years old or whatever. And then they're like, well, what would it look like if my voice did matter? And what if I could forgive the person who convinced me that my voice didn't matter, or who silenced me when I was a kid? You know, because a lot of times not being able to forgive, or holding rage and anger and resentment towards the people who hurt us in our childhood is part of the prison that keeps us stuck. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just the domino effect, the ripple of transformation that happens in group coaching is like a magic that is impossible to describe. I'm doing my best, but it's one of those things that like you really have to be there to experience it. But it's magic.
Now, for all of you watching, would you like to be there with Matt on this next run of the course? Because you can. Matt is offering this flagship $2,000 course for free to all of you watching this today. Every single one of you, in exchange for your feedback and testimonials. So if you are feeling inspired, if you want to feel those breakthroughs, if you're sick of one bad experience after another and you just want it to stop, why not see if this experience can change your luck in love? Again, it's Mastery of Connection. It's a 3-week course. You get 15 video lessons, 50 hours of live coaching, and you can all have that today if you sign up at yourbrilliance.org/Matt. That's yourbrilliance.org/MAT, just one T. And that is your exclusive sign up page for members of my community, where you can sign up for the next run of the Master of Connection course at zero cost for you. Matt, thank you so much for being on the show. I love having you every time. Are there any last thoughts you would like to leave our viewers with?
Absolutely. I mean, the last thought I'd love to leave you with is that, just to reiterate and go reflect back on everything we've been talking about for the last like 20 minutes or so. Like, no matter what you have experienced in your life, no matter what you have gone through, no matter how much pain and trauma you may have experienced at the hands of men or friends or family or anyone else, no matter how many decades maybe you've had unfulfilling relationships, no matter what you've experienced up until now, you are fundamentally worthy of deep, meaningful, fulfilling love. You are fundamentally worthy of feeling safe in partnership. And not because of anything you've done, not because of anything you can do for somebody else, but simply because of who you are, because you exist. And there is no such thing as being trapped in a pattern of unfulfilling relationship that you can't get out of. You can stop the pattern today. You can say, today, I am no longer willing to tolerate being in relationships that do not feel good to me. And the moment you make that unapologetic stand in your own life for the life that you desire, for the relationships that fill you up and bring you joy, your entire reality begins to shift to that commitment. I promise you, it's happened in my own life. You know, 10, 12 years ago, I mean, literally 11 years ago, I was dying from addiction. You know, $250,000 in debt, dying from Oxycontin addiction, thinking that my life was over, and in catastrophically toxic relationships. And then I just decided that that was no longer going to be my life, that I wasn't willing to die for my false beliefs about what I was worthy of and the life that I deserved. And by making that commitment and drawing that line in the sand, my entire life began to shift immediately. And so I just want to let you know it's not too late. You are enough and you are worthy of love and fulfillment and freedom. And I'd love to support you in getting there. So whether you do it with me or you just do it on your own, please just do it, because life is too short for us to spend our lives under this false belief that we don't deserve to be happy, because you fundamentally do.
Thank you so much, Matt, for being on the show. And thank you, everyone out there, for watching. If you'd like to watch more interviews like these, make sure to subscribe to Your Brilliance TV here on YouTube, and then go on over to yourbrilliance.com for more tips and insights on how you can live your most brilliant life. See you next time.